Hey, Cameron here with the Seabutters channel, and today we are looking at Vertical Dock by Vertical Docks. Now, they sent this over to me to take a look at, but I'm pretty impressed with the way that it sets up this little dock right here. What it allows you to do is use your Surface device with either the Surface Dock 2, or an eGPU and have it convenient. On the side, it works in both portrait and landscape modes. And it gives you the ability to kind of just drop your Surface right into place and use it with your computer. So it's a really neat product that I think viewers of my channel might be interested in. This is not a paid review or anything, but they did send me the dock to take a look at, and I think it's pretty neat. For those of you that use a Surface device as your only device, being able to hook it up to a large screen, while also being able to hold your Surface in a portrait mode or landscape, but landscape kind of already does by itself sometimes, but if you use that portrait mode, it does add, you know, a different dimension. I really like it, even though I probably won't use it long term just because I don't tend to dock my Surface devices because I have a powerful desktop GPU over there. But for those of you that do use it as your only device, I think it's pretty nifty. So let's take a look about how it sets up and some of the features. Taking a look at this Vertical Dock, get a nice little explanation sheet. This is for the Pro 9, got the Surface Pro 9 module, got the dock with the clip, it's got VESA mounting points, a cooling kit. We all know how I love putting fans on the back of my Surface devices, and this kit lets you mount that right on the back of the dock. I'm going to go ahead and try to put this together and see how it goes. So I just wanted to show you some different combinations. I'm going to be using with an eGPU, so I'm going to be using this dock without the Surface dock installed. So if you're going to be using the Surface dock, you'll configure this completely differently. So let's look at the Surface dock for those of you who are going to be maybe picking one of these up to look at it. If you don't need eGPU, this is probably a really good idea, because if you have the Surface dock, you get all this I/O, the network, several USB-C ports, audio. So how it works is you have this little hole on the side where you can thread this through. And then the Surface dock slides into place like this, and you will have these two USB-C front ports facing you with your I/O on the back, and that just will screw onto the bottom of the dock like so, and that's a really great configuration. But for us, we're not going to be using this piece because we're going to be using it with the eGPU back there. Okay, so another note on these: if you are going to be using the device in landscape mode rather than portrait, you would want to use these brackets. That allows you to turn the device and have it hold on the edges. But if you're using it simply in portrait mode, you can use these standoffs on your VESA mount. And how that works is, let me grab my VESA plate here. So this is my VESA plate. You'll run your screws through the back. You'll put it on the back of the dock, and then you will drop these brackets onto it with the nut and screw them into place. Okay, so I've got the VESA mount in place. That allows it to go right on my Dell MSA 200. So that should be pretty quick and easy. But because this is the Surface Pro 9 that I'm working with, it's a little bit different than past devices because our USBs have moved to the other side. So there is some things that they have done here. They have 2 different USB-C adapters. One of them goes in at an angle, so you could route your Thunderbolt cable through here and get it kind of out of the way. And then there's another simple pass-through cable that goes like this. And now you have those 2 USB-Cs that let you drop the dock right onto. However, we need to secure this bottom piece, and that is why we have this printed piece here that goes over it right like that. So it's probably a great idea to, well, let's see what that looks like from the back. Yeah, we should be able to plug in our eGPU using this port without any issues. So I'll go ahead and screw this down, and then we'll take a look and see how well it works. Okay, so we have that bottom piece on, and like I say, we have this USB-C port here that's a little bit easier accessible, and then there's the second one back here. Both should work for Thunderbolt. So now that we've got everything ready to go, let's do a little test fit here. Okay, so we have the vertical dock all installed, ready to go. It looks super tiny next to this monitor, but it's because it's a 42-inch OLED. But let's go ahead and see how well it works with our eGPU. Let's go ahead and plug it in. And we did hear that connectivity happen. Let's go to the device manager. And yeah, there it is, our 3060 Ti. So, just want to show you a few different configurations on this dock. So, for one, I have it set up on the USB-C method where it has 2 USB-Cs that are Thunderbolt compatible. In fact, I actually tested the throughput on it with it plugged directly into the Surface and then plugged through these adapters on the dock, and there was no difference in bandwidth. So great job there. The quality is high enough that the bandwidth is not diminished over those adapters. But there's a couple ways that you can set this up. One way is to do like I did with USB-C. As I worked with this device, there's a contact over at Vertical Docks named Dan, and he told me that by default that you usually only want to install one of these USB-Cs unless you really needed both of them for whatever reason, because it just makes it easier to drop the machine onto it when there's only one. When there's two, there's a little bit more friction that makes it harder to kind of dock in there. But if you're using the Surface Connect port, it actually usually is up underneath this, and the magnets just pull it in and out, and it's super simple to drop that Surface Pro in there when you're using it with the Surface Dock. Now, because I'm using the USB-C ports for Thunderbolt, that's not an option for me right now. But when this is used, it looks like this, and you can see that it just screws to the bottom. Surface Dock 2, there's also a Surface Dock 1 adapter. So yeah, all in all, the dock works great in combination with an eGPU or even with the Surface Connect 2 or 1. And I was even able to get some really nice scores, because when you disable the fact that it has to send the GPU data back through the cable back to the Surface device, you just use your external monitor that's connected to the eGPU directly, you actually get much better scores in benchmarking games. So I mean, that's with any eGPU, but the dock just makes it nice and easy to use your Surface in a desktop scenario and give you a dual monitor setup at the same time. So if you're interested in this dock, go ahead and take a look at the link in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on future Surface videos.